I call the Honourable Member Sua William Sua. Malo sui fua.
Malo sui fua, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the opportunity. I want to address my remarks to Part 3, Subpart 3, and more particularly the amendment that is in my name, Amendment 101. But I want to begin by some preliminary comments in that if people look at South Auckland, you'll find that in the past several years, that community has been under constant attack over several fronts, which have had significant impact on people's well-being. And in the area of high unemployment, the high deficit in housing affordability, the low wages, and in the area of health, we have some of the worst statistics than other communities throughout Aotearoa. And in that area, alcohol is particularly alcohol-fueled violence, alcohol-fueled domestic violence, alcohol-fueled suicide, alcohol-fueled murders. We all know that's been in the papers of late and in past several years. And we often forget, sir, that this is really about a proportion of the community that abuse the consumption of alcohol, but that over the years it's been a part of a culture that collectively that we have built up. Now, in South Auckland, we're beset with a proliferation of liquor outlets, more so in our community than other communities. We've got signs of alcohol advertising that litter our streets, giving full exposure to everybody, particularly young people who are walking to and from school. We've had in the news of deaths of young people who have either essentially abused the consumption of alcohol or have committed suicide, filled with the culture that it's okay to get wasted. And we continue as a country to perpetuate the alcohol culture, that it is okay getting drunk, it is okay to get wasted. And the South Auckland communities, I have to say, are sick and tired of it. And you, Mr. Chair, and my colleague here, Luisa Wall, will know full well that over the past several years there have been marches, there have been protests, there have been community meetings held, and you'll find that there's a unanimous feel in the community that we're sick and tired of the alcohol culture that many of our community believe is driven by vested interests which are contrary to the interest of children and families. And the majority of communities want parliamentarians to take seriously the recommendations by the law commissions and our frontline emergency people at Middlemore Hospital. They're sick and tired of having to deal with fixing the broken bones, the wounds, etc., that come at the early hours of the morning. And the police themselves have said, sir, that they want parliamentarians to toughen up on alcohol availability to protect our communities. And I have to say that by and large, you'll find that in the community, in South Auckland, there is great disappointment that when they had hope that we had this opportunity as the government, as parliamentarians, to really make a change for the better of the community, that has not been the sign that this government has given to our community. And so I want to introduce the supplementary order paper. And I'll be looking to support all the other supplementary order paper amendments that colleagues are putting forward, because I think it is an opportunity that we shouldn't miss to make some changes that will support our communities and protect future generations from a culture that we have contributed to over the years. My amendment proposes an amendment to the local alcohol bill to provide an opportunity for schools, Board of Trustees and early childhood education centres within a radius of 3 kilometres to have their views taken into account when an application for a liquor licence is made in that area. The amendment provides an opportunity for schools, early childhood education centres, if they so choose, to have a say in the location of liquor outlets with a view of reducing children's exposure to alcohol on their way to and from school. We have too many in my community, sir, and almost, Mr. Speaker,
Sir William Seo.
and almost all of these outlets will have huge signs, as I've said, that litter our streets and place themselves in the face of children on the way to and from school. I think most of us will agree that you'll find that most of community representatives on the School Board of Trustees or Early Childhood will have a better idea than most and provide accurate information on which liquor outlets have behaved responsibly in their areas and which outlets blatantly act irresponsibly and flaunt the law in advertising, selling to underage children and allowing drinking outside their premises. There's general consensus, sir, that the harm in the communities are not only caused by those intoxicated or who abuse alcohol consumption, but also by those who sell liquor in an irresponsible manner. And for the communities who care about what happens in their neighbourhoods, especially with the children in our communities, there's a strong feeling that we've got to do all we can to at least limit the harm and abuse that arises from alcohol availability, and in particular the exposure of young children to alcohol. My supplementary order paper provides an opportunity to the members on the local community Board of Trustees of schools or early childhood centres to have their say and be heard if they choose to provide a view on the location of liquor outlets in their communities. The Minister, I understand, has pointed out that the Alcohol Reform Bill has provisions for local alcohol policy to be established, and therefore she's indicated that she won't support my supplementary order paper. And I would say that while the Alcohol Reform Bill does provide for local alcohol policy, these provisions are voluntary, and unless the Council initiates it, those local alcohol policies won't exist. And furthermore, the process for establishing local alcohol policies will be a long public consultative process, which we all know can be quite draining on the community and certainly be quite expensive. My amendment offers an alternative which can happen immediately without the drawn-out consultative process and can eliminate the costly process of the normal public process. And though it might be difficult for the Board of Trustees to be able to determine the future impact of any alcohol availability and advertising on children, my amendment at least provides an opportunity for the local community to be heard if they so choose, and for the District Licensing Authority to consider the concerns of that community or that school and the substance of those concerns. I would urge members of the government, because it is up to them with the numbers, to support not only my amendment, but I think to take seriously all the amendments that members have put up, because it isn't about politicking, it is about genuinely representing the strong views that do exist. And the Minister will know this, because those views also exist in her community in Papakura, and so I move that way, sir. Thank you.